Hello and welcome to Devlog episode 10. This is a bit of a different episode because instead of showing the new stuff I added this week, I'll be making a full summary of the creation of this game. Though we started this devlog just about 3 months ago, I've actually been working on the game for nearly a year. You can see here that the project for this game was actually made Thursday, June 27th, 2019. And while that isn't quite a year yet, I began planning this game months before then. I have all the plans written down in this notebook, and that's where I'll be starting. Before any game can be made, there first needs to be a planning phase. Now that statement is utter garbage because there have been plenty of games made without planning. But for this game, there actually was quite a bit of planning. That's probably because planning out a crazy intricate game with a huge scope and lore is much easier than making one. But still, unfortunately for this video, a large amount of the planning that I did for the early stages was either not written down or has since been lost. But the basic concept for me was a Metroidvania with a focus on lots of movement and a real-time crafting system. The crafting system idea was never implemented, but the idea was taken from games like Metro Exodus, where if you needed to craft a healing item during combat, then you gotta take out this crafting thing and quickly craft it while praying that you don't get murdered by the boss or enemy that you're fighting. This never came to be, but the healing mechanic that I've added recently was built on the same principle, taking a risk in order to heal. But anyway, I've created some basic ideas for the map. It was supposed to have 6 main parts. First is a smaller part, in which you get the jetpack, and at the end you end up in a hub. In this hub, there are 4 different paths that go to 4 different parts of the map. Finally, after you complete those 4 main parts, you can progress to the final area of the game, where you fight the final boss. Now, in the final plans for this game, I changed it to have a bit less streamlined layout, similar to other Metroidvanias. Though so far I've only created the first small area where you get the jetpack. That's enough talk about the planning phase, it's time to get into actually making it. So as I mentioned earlier, I created the Game Maker Studio 2 project on Thursday, June 27th, 2019. And I made a basic acceleration-based platformer with jumping, wall sliding, wall jumping, and a weird jetpack thing that was later switched out for a double jump. I actually have footage of this early stage of the game from a very old video I made in which I created the bullet time mechanic from Katana Zero. I continued to work on the game for a few weeks. Progress was slow, but it was happening. I resized the game from 16x16 to 32x32 and redid the player's sprite, and it is still the one I have even to this day. I added shooting and a few guns, a pistol, a shotgun, and a rifle. The rifle was actually pretty well made because I made a video about weapon and game feel a while back, and I actually added a nice animation and screen shake to my game in the process of making that video. At the time, I also had a very basic and a very awful enemy of the game that just moves towards you. But soon after making that rifle an enemy, I just completely stopped making progress on the game. I didn't work on it for a variety of reasons, but the main ones were a lack of focus, a very large scope where I didn't know where to start with, and some other projects I did instead. During this pause, I made a PewDiePie fan game for some reason. It was a mobile stacker style game. They got a few thousand upvotes and around 1,000 downloads. It still sits at the top of search results for llama games on the Play Store, so I guess I have that market cornered. So I had switched from whatever I was doing before to making game dev style content for a while, and I'd had a little bit of success with the videos for that PewDiePie fan game. But I decided that I was going to finally focus on making this game into the main focus of my channel. But it needed a bit of a facelift, so I decided to murder 2 birds with 1 stone. I spent 1 month completely rehauling large parts of my game. I added multiple enemies, made the weapons better, and made a tile set for the game, and built a small stage that would later become the base for the first area of my game. Now that I had finally got the ball rolling with the game, I began adding stuff left and right. I made plenty more enemies and stuff like that, but I also began building some important aspects of a Metroidvania. I created a mini-map and a jetpack pickup. Then I created a tank mini-boss, and all sorts of particles. Then I built the layout for the first area and created a parallax background. Then I decided that it would be a good idea to add a lighting system asset into the game. The lighting system wasn't made by me, but I did set it up. Then I got to work filling out the entire first stage with new hazards and enemies. I created the healing system for the game that draws influence from games like Hollow Knight and also Apex Legends. Finally, I created a boss fight at the very end of the first area. And I wrapped up the entire first area of the game. So I've completed the first area of the game, and I think that's a perfect stopping point. The game isn't cancelled, I'm just taking a break from working on it. I have some pretty big other projects planned for the future, and I would really like to start work on them. I can't promise that the game will be finished in its entirety, but I plan on making at least one more area before calling it quits. If you enjoyed watching this video and you haven't seen any previous devlogs or videos by me, I encourage you to check them out. I skimmed over quite a bit in this video, after all it's just a quick overview. I had to skip some stuff. But this game has come a long way in the last few months, and I'm excited to see what happens in the future. Anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to like if you enjoyed and subscribe for more. Comment down below just about anything, but toe pics. Please don't do that. Bye.